So, you know this girl on the Cataclysm page? She's finally playable, and she's our first limited support. Supports in Stella Sora are very powerful, and Suntide Willow is no exception. Let's take a look at her team options, potentials, and all the usual calculations. Willow's first build focuses on buffing mark damage, while her second focuses on buffing aqua damage, crit, and crit damage. Her mark damage buff is kind of unique, in that instead of acting as a generic damage dealt increase like Emblems, or a damage multiplier like Nazuna, it adds a hefty flat value to the mark's base multiplier. The wording on this is a bit misleading, as this damage will still be calculated with the detonator stats, and won't count as Willow's own damage. That being said though, Willow can do a decent amount of damage as a support, especially with the first build, though it's not too much to write home about. As a main trucker, she doesn't have any game-changing potentials like Nazuna's Touch of Nature, so we'll focus on her support position. Her Western slot team includes Chitose and Donna. However, if you don't have Donna, you can use Freesia instead, or even run double support with Teresa. After Chitose's buffs, even with the huge auto attack steroids from Freesia and Teresa, the skill build has a slightly higher ceiling, and in the case of Freesia, is a lot more consistent, as you don't have to gamble with temporal revival. There is also the option of running with Telia and playing a mark damage focused build as well. Let's dig into the potentials. In the Chitose Donna team, we'll want to run Chitose on the skill build. Take Cascade of Ruin and Against the Flow as cores. Flowing Circle and Serpentine Tide are the priority pickups, with a Zero Embrace close behind. 1 point in Returning Tide is also mandatory. Adamant Scales or Serpent Stance are options after this. The latter may be more appealing if you have T1, which has the same activation condition. Donna's usual DPS build can be used here, with Frostbitten Arrow and Water Ripple being core pickups. If your Chitose has more investment than Donna, you can take Messenger Arrow instead of the Aquatic Assault and Chilling Onslaught combo. On Willow, take Rhythm Surge and Thunderous Surface cores. Prismatic Bubbles is our strongest potential. Marine Justice is also very powerful with charge efficiency emblems. Engulfing Tide has solid value. Receding Echoes is a crit damage potential, so this can be stronger depending on how many crit rate emblems your Chitose and Donna have. For the final slot, Tender Scenes and Balmy Surf can both be considered. No Donna, no problem. You can use either Teresa or Freesia as a support instead. While the skill build is preferred, Chitose's auto attack build is still viable if you want to play that as well. Here are the relevant potentials for each of these alternatives. On Freesia or Teresa, Temporal Revival and Let Me Help should only be taken if you're running auto Chitose. Build codes for all these variants can be found in the description. What about the Mark team? On Chitose, we'll take a hybrid of Serpent's Glide and Against the Flow. The first will guarantee constant mark procs, while the latter will help with energy generation. All of Chitose's potentials are quite low priority. You'll want to pick up generic attack increases, such as Azir Embrace and Adamant Scales. 1 point in Returning Tide is taken for energy generation. The main focus will be on your supports. On Telia, you'll want to run Holy Inscription and Renewed Spectrum. Blinding Beam is a mandatory max. Trick Boost has high value, with Brilliant Relay, Guardian's Resolve, and Knight's Oath Courage being other buffing options. On Suntide Willow, run her build 1 cores, Flying Droplets and Flooding Shore. Hovering Gale is the core of this entire build. Note that this is actually a mark damage increase, aka the same as emblem stats, and not damage taken. Words Unchanging also has high value. Marine Justice is extremely powerful, even without any charge efficiency, due to a huge lack of aqua damage taken in this team. Engulfing Tide and Eternal Tide are the final priorities. Gameplay with Willow is fairly straightforward, as she has 100% uptime, and there's not much thought to go into timing her skill. Do consider that she will not generate bubbles for prismatic bubbles during her ult though, so you'll want to make sure to lead with it ahead of your burst to make sure you have time to get the buffs back up. Chitose's gameplay is also fairly simple, but there are some optimizations to consider. Since you could have up to 3 stacks of her skill, you want to ideally stack up charges to unload during burst windows. However, her Serpent and Tide buff only lasts 6 seconds, so make sure to use her skill often enough to keep this up. Speaking of which, if you have Chitose's T1 or are running Serpent Dance, in order to keep this buff up throughout her lone ult animation, you'll need to use the skill immediately before and after her ult, and additionally have ultimate animations turned on, as this effectively shortens the live animation time, allowing you to maintain your stacks. As a support, Suntide Willow has fairly powerful talents, as they mostly affect the entire team. Notably, her 2nd and 5th talents provide the most team damage increase, as aqua damage taken is fairly scarce compared to other multipliers, while her 1st and 3rd talents provide moderate value. Her 4th talent, however, is very mid, providing skill and auto damage to the main tracker only, which is already ultra diluted. What about her emblems? The TLDR is charge efficiency good, please get it. This increases the uptime on the attack buff from her ultimate, but more importantly, the damage taken debuff from Marine Justice. Skill and ultimate +3 don't really do much in comparison, and personal damage increases are minor enough to be ignored. On the 90 emblem, levels in prismatic bubbles are the most desirable for the skill build, while levels in Hovering Gale are the strongest in the mark build. However, outside of Hovering Gale, there are not really any huge must-chase lines other than charge efficiency. For Chitose, emblems are par the course. Crit rate has a higher value than normal due to the crit damage from Willow. Skill +3 is a high priority. Flowing Circle and Serpent and Tide levels are the highest value on the 90 emblem, but aren't completely game-changing in power. For the mark build, mark damage is the highest priority, even over pen and crit rate. Let's take a look at discs, starting with the Chitose and Donna skill damage team. Willow's limited disc gives very powerful buffs, and is just slightly stronger than the other 2 limited aqua discs at a baseline, but scales up far more as well. It doesn't really do well in the support slot though, because it gives auto attack damage as a base stat. The Sunlit Blossom remains a powerful choice for both main and support slots. In the Mark team, the gains from discs are heavily dampened. Chitose's disc takes the lead as it has the most generic buffs that can benefit her mark damage. Donna's limited and event discs are pretty much unusable here, as most of their effects won't be activated. In the remaining slots, event and FTP discs at C6 are preferable over other options at C1. And that's it for this Willow guide. Overall, Willow is fairly versatile as a support, making several different playstyles for the Aqua Vanguard position viable. The fact that Chitose can play either auto attack, skill, or even mark build, all to decent success, is pretty cool. Anyway, if you want a recap of the numbers covered in this guide, don't forget to check out the text version or the calculator page, where they will always be posted. See you guys next time, bye bye!